Le poker est un jeu de guerre psychologique. La table est le champ de bataille et les jetons sont les armes. Les joueurs sont assis immobiles pendant des heures, mais les esprits de chacun essayent de déjouer les pièges adverses. Dans une cabane aux Bahamas, à quelques pas de la salle de tournoi, 4 joueurs professionnels discutent de batailles psychologiques. Le tenant du titre WPT et 2 fois détenteur de bracelet World Series, David Williams. La championne olympique, la néerlandaise Fatima De Mello. L'Italien qui a le plus de places payées sur l'European Poker Tour que n'importe quel autre joueur, Luca Pagano. Et enfin, Joachim, le champion du monde 2005.
Poker is a pretty interesting game, right? But regardless what happens, psychology of the game is still paramount. You guys agree with that?
It's very important to understand what your opponent can understand.
Yeah,
otherwise, probably you
outthink yourself.
Exactly.
We've all done that.
Correct, exactly. And that's the point where you start doing mistakes.
I kind of just look at my opponent's body language and how comfortable they look. If they look comfortable or uncomfortable, if they're experienced or not, then figure out what I think that means. But if you're able to see that, because by watching the player earlier, you can decide, okay, this is a guy who would be comfortable when he's bluffing or he would be comfortable with the nuts. I mean, you have to make that decision. And
if you had one question that you would ask and he has to answer, what would be the question?
do you want me to call? You know, that's a question you see a lot of people ask.
Yeah.
And it's funny how often people give the true answer.
It's so true, isn't it?
Thinking, trying to like, you know, this level, like maybe he's not telling the truth, but most of the time people give you the true answer.
Okay, here's a question for you all. Best way to get someone on tilt?
Depending on the player, usually showing a bluff in a big spot. I mean, it's hard. Some players...
For sure.
Showing a bluff, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Does that tilt you?
Yeah.
If someone shows you a bluff?
It does.
I remember that.
Yeah, obviously. But then I just get up and I know that it gets me on tilt, so I just take a little break.
Personally, I don't feel very comfortable on trying to put an opponent on tilt. I rather prefer to beat him with the cards. I mean, you know what I mean? I just don't feel very comfortable in pushing around people.
So you try and tell us you're a nice guy?
Kind of.
I mean, have you guys noticed too that there's been a decline in number of earphones at the table? People now are going back to, I want to sit here and actually listen, I want to watch, I want to pay attention and not lose myself in my music, which goes back to what we're talking about, into getting into people's heads.
I actually like to speak with the people at the table, but I also know that I'm going to lose the focus on the game, and I also know that I can give away information.
You notice there's the type of people that if you become friendly with them, they actually take it easy on you. They can't help it, and they feel like, well, we made this bond now, I can't bluff this guy. And sometimes you'll see, you know, there might be a guy, you know, on my left or on my right who just seems like that nice guy and they have me covered, and I start chatting them up, and then they get very friendly with you, and it's kind of a spot where they feel obligated to always have a hand when they play with you, and you can tell. And I found that that's a good tactic I use a lot. And
I'm always suspicious of people where I have position on. If they start talking nicely to me, I'm like, yeah, right, just because I have position on you.
Yeah, they're chatting you up, and the next thing you know, in a hand, they're like raised, and like, so how you just forget, you're like, oh, and they don't want to, you know, you don't want to raise that guy because they're your buddies, so.
You know how sometimes there's someone at the table that's got your number, and it starts messing with your head, like, he's picking on me. I like to think that sometimes I'm strong enough, sometimes I'm not, that I know you've got my number today. You know what? Good luck to you. I'll just stay out of your way.
Yeah,
I'll find someone else to pick on.
I feel like a dog that has to roll over and just, okay, it's fine, it's fine. I'll give up my big blind. Okay.
Just take, because you know,
the best course of action is stay out of a hand with them, and they can't pick on you. And you know, the table will break or the day will end.
Instead of getting stubborn and saying, no, I'm going to show you this hand. I know you've got nothing. I want to re-raise you, and they wake up with aces, and you're walking out the door.